Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Good. All right. Well, today I guess it's beautiful weather for fall. Beautiful people, beautiful performances, and I'm hoping I can do something very similar. However, I remember about 6 months ago I did something similar, and I mentioned that I'm not very good at singing or anything like that. I'm proud to say, about half a year later, my voice still sounds like a tractor, and I am musically incapable. So I'll be giving you a little story from a while back, which is exactly what I did last time. But yeah, you're just gonna have to bear with me for a bit here. All right. So let's see. All right. So my mom is a very superstitious person. I don't know if anyone here is superstitious. Raise your hand if you really believe in signs and things like that. At all. All right, you over there in the dress. Yeah, you. You want to guess my sign at all? If you really believe in that. How did you know? No, I'm not. That's okay. It's a very common thing. People do this. People are like, okay, you can't guess my sign and everything. Well, I'm actually a Taurus. That is not true as well. You'd be like, oh. Of course, that's what a Taurus would do, right? But I'm a Cancer, and I'm real fit this time. I am actually a Cancer. Now, I don't believe in superstitions, like I said, but my mom really does, and I've had some instances with her, and I guess kind of in Istanbul, where I grew up, that kind of reflect that. So I'd first like to talk about that. Well, I'm in engineering, so I don't believe in any of it, even though it's okay, so my part starts when I first got pooped on by a parrot in Istanbul. And yeah, you can look this up right now. There are about 1,000 parrots living in Istanbul because some illegal parrot dealer brought a bunch of parrots to Turkey, and then at the border control, they just opened the back of the truck, and apparently a mutiny happened inside or something, and they all just escaped. So now there are a bunch of parrots in Turkey. And I got shat on by one of them, right? So, I'm basically at a soccer game, and suddenly I'm covered in this red, not red, but green, a red thing, and I don't know what it is, because it doesn't even look like any bird poop, like seagulls or anything like that. Very confused. I then found out that it was an exotic bird, and it was like a parakeet or something. Now, since then, I've been shit on by birds many times. This year, I'm at 5, actually. And many wouldn't believe this, but a lot of people in this room have witnessed 2 or 3 of them, right? Yes. Yeah. And so the first time was when I landed in Istanbul after Christmas break, and I am gonna get in the car, my dad's picking me up, and suddenly I'm my shoulders is covered in some black thing. My dad's like, that must have been an eventful flight, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Sometimes you don't even notice it, right? Second time, me and my friends are on a morning run, and we're just going back to chill together, and suddenly I am again covered in black stuff on my left shoulder. This happens 2 more times over the summer, and the final time is a few days ago actually, when me and my friends are discussing my luck, and basically about 6 hours later, we're sitting at dig, and I got shit on again by a bird in front of me. Now, here's the funny bit. My mom, believing in superstitions and all, believes that this is good luck, right? In Russian and Turkish, borikal, I don't know what it is, they believe that if you get shit on by a bird, it's amazing luck. And seeing that I got shit on by a parrot, my mom thought I was gonna win the lottery. So we go to the lottery place, and we're gonna buy a ticket. And actually we do, and there's nothing in it, right? We just wasted $50 worth of lottery tickets, and there's nothing. But we see this one guy who turns out to be I don't know how to say it, obstetrician, right? So he helps deliver babies, right? Which is very random. I was like, well, okay, why are we talking to this guy? It turns out he helped my grandmother deliver my mom, right? Now, after this very weird instance, I'm like, okay, this was okay, okay, cool, whatever. And I go back to my summer holiday. I'm down south in Turkey, and basically, I'm with my friend, and he says, let's go to this random wedding that my uncle's having, right? I'm like, I'm not gonna go to your uncle's wedding. I don't even know who your uncle is, right? And he's like, oh, it's a yearly instance at this point. It's his 4th wedding. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. We go to the wedding, and it's just me and my friend just disappears, and I'm just alone there, and I'm walking around, and I see the obstetrician guy, right? I'm like, hey, what the hell is going on? What are you doing here? He's like, oh yeah, I'm a colleague of the guy who's basically wedding this is. And there's a lot of free wine, so we drink a lot and everything. And drinking age in Turkey is 18, so yeah. And basically, after drinking a lot, I find my friend again, and we're dancing around. You know, everyone's up, like, you know, in the middle dancing. A lot of mosh pits for like a 50-year-old party. A lot of mosh pits. Now, while these mosh pits are happening, I'm dancing around, you know, just like moving, turning around and everything, and I just bump into this like a really tall, bald guy, right? And I like spill my wine all over his like left shoulder. And he's like, dude, do you know who I am? I have no idea, man. What's your name? Nice to meet you. And basically, while I'm talking to him, turns out it's his wedding. He's the uncle, right? And he's like 2.5 meters tall, and like the bride is looking at me and like, what have you done? What is this? Like, this guy's already getting married every year, and you want to ruin it on the first day. What is going on? And I basically say, okay, let's sit down, let's figure this out, because I don't want to get in any trouble. I don't even know who you are. My friend just dragged me here, right? And we basically sit down and we're talking, and suddenly, after like he asked me a bunch of questions about like when I was born and everything, he starts raising his eyebrow. He's a very weird guy. He starts raising his eyebrow and he says, very interesting. And after some other questions, he starts that he's gonna go into some very creepy questions, like the type of questions that they would ask you in a scam, like what time I was born and which hospital I was born in, like a bunch of these questions, and like what my mom's maiden name is, right? And I was actually convinced that this guy was trying to scam me or get some like Google security question answers. Now, I don't know why a rich 50-year-old uncle would do that. It was an obstetrician, right? Very random. Turns out he's the person who helped deliver me, right? And I just randomly ran into this guy in this random wedding in the south of Turkey. And well, I was just very shocked. I go back to Istanbul and I tell my mom all about this, and my mom just sits me down and says, son, this runs in our family. We have like a fate. This is all fate. And everything you do from now on, it's all connected. The world is connected. I think my mom is one of those like homeless people that'll tell you that the world's ending in like 10 days. And the signs like, look at the stars and everything, you know? And funny thing is, everything she said so far has come true. One thing that I still don't believe about superstitions is that, like, when you go to like a fortune teller, right, they'll give you something very like up in the air, right? So one day my mom decides to take me to one of these, and like we're sitting there in like this weird back street in like Istanbul, in like some fortune teller shop, whatever. And he like reads my like fortune, like he looks at my hands and everything. He's like, oh, I see something. Then he starts like, shaking and everything, and he's like going crazy. And then suddenly he's like, you. I'm like, what? He says the letter U is going to be very important in your life. Now I'm there and I'm like, okay, well, letter U. And like this was like 3-4 years ago. And nothing happened since then. Every time it comes up, suddenly I'm like, yeah, I don't believe in superstitions. What happened with the letter U? Nothing happened. Then comes, what is that? The 20th of December, 2021, the day that like the Penn early decision thing gets announced. I get in and my mom looks at me and goes, oh! I'm like, what happened? It's the University of Pennsylvania. And she goes crazy. You know, like the like college admission like videos where like people sit down and they'll be like, yeah, I got in, you know, then they'll like show the laptop and everything. Mine is just my mom looking at my dad and my sister and going, it's the letter U, I told you guys. I try to explain to my mom that every university starts with U always, right? But she still believes in it. And she claims that the fortune teller also had the letter P, which I know for a fact didn't happen, so she was just making this stuff up. She also claims to have predicted 5 earthquakes, multiple car accidents, and a military coup in Turkey. And the funny thing is, the military coup part is true. This is 2016, and I'm in Istanbul again, and we go down south, and I'm basically in the cinema with my sister, you know, just like watching a movie. And the movie is, I believe, Ice Age 5, you know, the one with the meteorite and everything, right? Great movie, masterpiece. However, we're watching and we're in the middle of like the movie, and you know, it's like an open cinema, like one of those like drive-through kind of places, really nice. I get like to spend some time with my sister and everything. And suddenly the lights go off and we're like, okay, it's probably halftime. Oh, we have halftime in movies in Turkey, and it's great, I love it. But suddenly the guy who's like operating the cinema comes in and he says, guys, everyone calm down. We have no idea what's going on. We all look at our phones and Turkey is being captured by like militia, right? And it's just me and my sister, like my parents are like an hour away, and like the Turkish government has like collapsed or whatever, right? Or that's what we believe. My parents like suddenly were like waiting outside, and my mom calls me, Ahmed, are you alive? Are you alive? I told you this was gonna happen. I told you. I've been predicting this for years, and it's finally happened. I'm like, okay, where are you? Just pick us up. I don't care about this stuff. And she comes and she like picks us up, and we're driving back. Turns out the military coup never happened. There were just like, basically like, I'd say 20 to 25 people who captured one of the news stations and just broadcasted fake news that like governments been captured, right? And I tell that to my mom. I was like, no, it was a military coup. They're lying to you. They just took it back and never told us. It's all a conspiracy, and we're all part of this. It's all connected, right? And to this day, I still do not believe it. I don't believe in any of it. I don't believe in superstitions. I don't think that I'm gonna find the love of my life in 10 days because I'm a Cancer. I don't believe that I'm gonna fail my classes because I stepped on the compass. Things like that. But I just wanted to give you guys like a little history of my fight with fate. And I guess the lesson from this is the real luck was the friends we made along the way. Thank you.